High Counselor Vexthera had made many decisions during her 8th-century tenure leading the Galactic Uplift Initiative, but none haunted her crystalline consciousness quite like Resolution 2847, the formal introduction of advanced technology to the species designated as humans. What had seemed like standard charitable protocol 3 years ago now felt like the greatest miscalculation in galactic history. Standing in the initiative's emergency session chamber, surrounded by panicked representatives from 47 star systems, Vexthera reviewed the reports that had triggered this crisis meeting. Her translucent form flickered with stress patterns as she addressed the assembled delegates. 3 standard years ago, her voice resonated through quantum harmonics. We granted humanity access to basic FTL drive technology, standard gravitational manipulators, and elementary energy synthesis. Standard uplift package for a developing species showing promise. Ambassador Krilzon of the Zen3 Collective, his cybernetic implants processing data at visible speeds, raised a mechanical appendage. The humans were rated as moderately intelligent, but lacking innovation by our assessment teams. Low risk for technological misuse. That assessment, Vexthera replied grimly, has proven catastrophically incorrect. The chamber's holographic display activated, showing a 3-dimensional map of known space. What had once been a small yellow dot marking Earth's location now blazed like a miniature sun, with dozens of connected systems spreading outward in an aggressive expansion pattern. Initial concern arose 6 months post-uplift, Vexthera continued, when humans began modifying our FTL drives. Instead of using them for exploration as intended, they created something they called pizza delivery drones capable of faster-than-light food transport. Nervous chittering filled the chamber. Ambassador SSSK Val of the Serpentine Alliance flicked her forked tongue anxiously. Surely food transport poses no threat. The threat emerged when they scaled up the technology, Vexthera explained. They now operate 17,000 automated ships delivering what they term Earth cuisine to every inhabited system in their expanding sphere of influence. Their economic penetration rate exceeds our most aggressive conquest scenarios. The display shifted to show consumption statistics. Trade routes that had existed for millennia were being supplanted by human commercial networks built around something called taco distribution hubs. Dr. Yithkol, an ancient Etherian whose wisdom had guided uplift decisions for 2 millennia, materialized partially into the chamber. What of the gravitational manipulators? Surely they understood these were for construction purposes. Vexthera's form dimmed significantly. They used them to create recreational activities. Humans now operate zero-gravity sports leagues and have invented something called planetary bowling where they use small moons as projectiles. Planetary bowling? Ambassador Krilzon's processors sparked visibly. They're using celestial bodies for entertainment? 3 uninhabited systems have been converted into what humans call cosmic miniature golf courses. They've turned our most sophisticated gravitational engineering into games. The chamber erupted in panicked discussions. Representative Thokmar of the militant world stood on his 6 legs, his armored carapace rattling with agitation. What about energy synthesis? That technology requires careful. They weaponized it, Vexthera interrupted. Not for warfare, worse. They created something called competitive barbecue and are using industrial-grade energy synthesis to cook what they term the perfect brisket. The energy expenditure for a single human cooking competition exceeds the annual power consumption of most civilized worlds. An uncomfortable silence fell over the assembly as representatives contemplated the implications. There's more, Vexthera continued reluctantly. They've begun improving our other technologies. The Corvin shipyards report that humans have modified their quantum computers to play something called video games at impossible processing speeds. The hegemony's biological research stations have been converted into craft brewery operations producing fermented beverages with names like Galactic IPA and Quantum Wheat Beer. Ambassador SSSK Val's scales had shifted to stress pattern yellow. Surely we can simply ask them to stop? We tried, Bexthra replied. They invited our diplomatic team to something called a block party and spent 14 hours teaching us cornhole and beer pong. Our ambassadors are still there. They send regular updates about human recreational activities and something called fantasy football leagues. The display showed the expanding zone of human influence, now encompassing over 200 systems. Each system blazed with impossible activity, trade routes, communication networks, and what appeared to be massive construction projects. What are they building? Dr. Yithkol asked with growing dread. Theme parks, Bexthra whispered. They're using our advanced construction technology to build entertainment complexes throughout the galaxy. The newest one, located in the former militaristic Zone 7, features something called the galaxy's tallest roller coaster built using anti-gravity generators and pocket dimension expansion technology. Representative Thokmar's warrior instincts finally overcame his shock. We must reclaim our technology. Send our fleets to where? Bexthra interrupted. 40% of our military commanders are currently visiting human vacation destinations. The others are participating in something called intergalactic fantasy sports leagues with human fleet operators. Our own people prefer human entertainment to their military duties. The chamber fell silent as the horrifying truth sank in. The humans hadn't conquered the galaxy through force or cunning. They had turned it into one massive recreational facility. Motion to classify humans as a Class X civilization, Bexthra announced with resignation. Recommendation: extreme caution in all future uplift decisions. Addendum: investigation into human requests to help improve our transportation networks with something called drive-through technology. The motion passed unanimously, though 3 delegates were absent. They had left mid-session to attend what humans called Taco Tuesday at the local Earth Embassy.